Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of Archers Football Extra Time. I'm Will Richards, joined by Alex Bayliss. And Alex, what have we got in store for everyone today?
Well, we've got a packed show today. We're going to be talking to multiple guests. We're going to have an insight into our women's team, as well as talking all things Cardiff Met.
And where do we start? I mean, so much football has already been played this season. We've had men's football, we've had women's football, we've had BUCS, we've had academy football festivals as well. But what's been your highlight of the season so far?
For me, as you said, there's been so many highlights this season, but for me, it would have to be the men's BUCS 1 game against Bath earlier this season. Great atmosphere, and it was a great display on the pitch. But for me, Ryan Reynolds scored the goal of the season.
Do you want to have another look at that?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Let's have a look. Bath again defending well. And again, a little half chance falling to Dimon Hall. Dimon Hall to Reynolds. Reynolds shoots. And it's another goal for Cardiff Met. Reynolds from about 25 yards out. Took the ball out of his right foot and curled an absolute beauty of a goal over Crawford, in off the bar, and that's 2-0 to Cardiff Met. That is a good choice, Alex, to be fair. I'll give you that one. But for me, I think my highlight of the season was away at Lantwood Major in the Cup, trailing 2-1 inside the last 10 minutes. And thanks to goals from Ryan Reynolds and Lewis Rees, Cardiff Met won 3-2. That Rees goal coming in the 93rd minute as well. So, yeah, for me, that would probably be my highlight of the season.
And that is a great choice. And a man that would be especially buzzing with that is our Director of Football, Chris Baker. And I believe you went to go catch up with him recently.
Yeah, that's right. Here's Quickfire questions with Chris Baker. So first one then, boots or the boardroom?
I'm going to have to say the boardroom. Yeah. That transition from playing into the current role has been really enjoyable. Obviously come with some challenges. And do I miss playing? Absolutely. Yeah.
What sort of day-to-day actions really do you have to kind of take on to keep running Cardiff Met as a football club as a whole?
Yeah, so my role is Director of Football System, so essentially I have strategic oversight of the broader football system, and that football system encompasses what we're doing at performance level, what we're doing within our academy space, what we do sort of recreationally, and what we do in the community as well. So the role itself is really multifaceted.
Yeah. If we look over at the football side, what's your favourite memory as a player here at Cardiff Met?
I think naturally you gravitate to the European experiences. I think the manner of us qualifying, having lost in the playoff final 2 years, consecutively on the bounce was tough. But that third season when we went away to Bala and we won on penalties was a special moment. And then the European experience itself, going out to Luxembourg, losing away from home but winning at home, and then going out on away goals. The last year away goals was in place as well. But incredible experiences and experiences to last a lifetime.
Favourite meal?
Favourite meal, I'll have to be steak. Can't go wrong with a rare steak, maybe some thick cut chips, peppercorn sauce, garlic mushrooms. That's a staple.
And then favourite restaurant then, if you had to go get your steak and chips anywhere, whether it be in Cardiff or kind of anywhere that you've been?
Favourite restaurant? Whilst not necessarily steak, there's a little small dish restaurant called Parallel in Cardiff, I think, which is highly rated.
It's the same brand as Pastures.
That's right next door. Yeah.
Night in or night out?
Night in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Has
night
that changed
in.
recently or?
Probably. Yeah. I think from my studying days when I was here as a student, I think I probably would have given you a different answer at that time. But
if we take Chris Baker back to that younger self,
Mm-hmm.
if you had to go out one place in Cardiff, where would your usual night out take you?
Live Lounge probably would end up in Live Lounge at some stage. Yeah, just love live music. Anywhere with music is right up my street.
How just important is it, do you think, for people kind of to have that like backup plan in a way to maybe with the football, with the sport, but also to have something else to fall back on?
Yeah,
I guess which would have helped you with your position now as Director of Football Systems?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was someone who was an academy product, and I see a lot of players, who are involved in academies, now, and we're trying really hard to develop that connection with pro clubs at the university, who come in and they don't see the bigger picture. Yeah. The reality is, from a numbers perspective, not many people make it. So for them, it's just seeing that, having something to fall back on, coming and getting some fantastic experiences, a fantastic degree, but also then being able to continue playing football at a really high level, is so worthwhile. And certainly I was someone who benefited from that. I've had some of my best experiences at Cardiff Met, University, and I really believe in, the product which we have here. So it's just communicating that, increasing the visibility and the reputation of what we're trying to do, and just showcasing to people that, this is a really, really good option for them.
Definitely. Well, that's been Quickfire Questions with Chris Baker. Chris, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
Well, now you know Director of Football Systems Chris Baker. It's time to introduce the head of the academy, Jack Lyons. Jack, thank you very much for joining us on the first episode. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good to be here.
So for anyone that doesn't know you, Jack, can you just give a little bit of an explanation about your role at Cardiff Met and what it is you do?
Yeah, so official title is Head of Youth Operations, so oversee the running of the football academy. So a little bit of context is the academy runs from under 8s right the way up to our under 19s. Recently, in regards to our categorisation, has had our category upgraded to a Category A academy, which brings its challenges but also brings benefits naturally to the football club as well, and an area of the football club we're really looking to develop and push forward as we progress as a wider club.
And with the academy, how important is it for a club like Cardiff Met to have that academy system in place?
Yes, it's absolutely vital. How I kind of describe it to people is we've almost got two strings. Is ultimately we want to produce as many players to play within the Welsh Premier League. You naturally have your students that come to the university, but having the strand of local players coming through the academy system and really starting to get examples of people doing that and coming through our foundation phase, youth development phase into our performance phase, and then making that jump into the first team is absolutely vital for any club. Yeah. Starting to see players progressing through our system, but also start players to have opportunities to maybe develop in our foundation phase or youth phase and then actually go on to professional academies. So we're really starting to build in links and players going into your Cardiff Cities, Newport Counties, Bristol Cities, Bristol Rovers and Swansea Cities, which is fantastic for us as well.
Definitely, and as things stand, the academy only operates on the men's side at the moment. How important is it in the future to kind of maybe bring the women's football into that as well?
Yeah, it's a really vital thing and quite an exciting development. So the FAW have recently announced they're going to be launching kind of regional centres for the girls programme, and we're at the stage that we've just put in an application for us to be one of those hubs, and that's something that we think we're in a really good position to get. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's a decision to be made by the FAW, but a really exciting project for us and the wider football club to hopefully from next season being able to run one of these development centres and progress in what is, we've already got a women's section, we have an under 16s and under 19s, but starting to grow that is something that's really important for us as a football club.
And it's fair to say you're not a bad footballer either. Let's have a look at this. So there you go, the back heel. The technique on that, talk us through it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't think I'd hit it as clean as I did. I was hoping just to knock it a couple of yards and it's obviously gone a little bit further. But yeah, not my proudest moment, but wanted to look back on, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
So staying with BUCS football, obviously you had a really successful time with the BUCS 2s over the last couple of seasons, winning the league and then winning the national trophy. Just talk to us about how special that team was as well.
Yeah, it was a good group. I described it as a good group. They were a good group of mates, and they came together. And obviously, myself and Schenkin has to take a lot of credit in terms of how we brought all the boys together. They were a fantastic group that knew what they were good at, knew what they weren't good at, and executed and did that really well. But I think, again, the cruel reality of knockout football, we were really good in those moments. Last year, we were 3-0 down away to Surrey, and dead and buried, as many would have said Nottingham were last week, and we came back and won 4-3. So it's a funny way of these things happening and turning in moments. But yeah, good memories of those group, and still keep in contact with a lot of them that are now away from Cardiff, things like that. And that's what BUCS football is all about. And that day at Loughborough will stick long in the memory, to be honest.
I think you've summed that one up perfectly, because that twos team was really special. But thank you very much for your time, Jack. It's been really insightful to hear from you. Sticking with the twos, though, Harry Tetlow and Miles Littlechild were also two players at the heartbeat of that side. Here's the story from their perspective.
From as long as I can remember, always been into football, watching football, playing football, whether that's with my mates, playing local football, team, whatever. Played a decent standard when I was younger, and that's just continued.
I think I started playing when I was 5 years old for my local team, and then I got scouted at the age of 7 to go to Swindon Town and have a trial, and thankfully that was successful, and I ended up staying there for 10 years. And just before the scholars were given out, I unfortunately tore my ACL, so I was out for a long time. So it was probably a backtrack from there, trying to get back to full fitness. When I did go back and play for Swindon after my injury, the pressure was mounted on top of me to try and get back to my best, but that was never going to come, and I kind of just knew anyway. So that feeling kind of helped me, so that I could just move on and go and play, obviously different, and go to uni.
My Cardiff Met BUCS career started with the trials. Jack and Emlyn put me straight in the twos. Came straight into training with them, and I was lucky enough to then be a part of the twos from that moment on. My first whole year played for the twos, I think we only lost one game. I played about 5-10 minutes of that, but then from second year we ended up winning the league for the twos, and then third year obviously we went on to win the National Cup. So as far as BUCS careers goes, I'd say I've probably been one of the lucky ones and one of the better ones.
I think as soon as I started in that team, there was a really strong bond there with, throughout the whole players and the management. You could see that everyone liked each other, everyone got involved, everyone was engaged, everyone wanted the same thing. And I think that was the most important thing, everyone being on board. And from that moment, we didn't want to lose. It was the mentality of we haven't lost and we don't want to lose. So I think that was the big one, just our mentality. And then also, we all loved each other, we were all best mates, we all wanted to do it for each other. We went out together, obviously some of us were in the same course, we lived together, so there's all big factors that showed why we were such a good team and so difficult to beat.
We would do everything together, from Monday training to Wednesday games to Thursday training to Saturday games. You have that real social life that you're spending every minute of the day pretty much with each other, and that's what made it so special. It was our first year in the National Cup. We played the Ones here, where we beat them on penalties. That was obviously quite a big thing, beating your own Ones team. We then played Surrey, where we were 3-0 down at half time. I remember all the boys were pretty dejected, and we were worried obviously, and some of the things those lads were saying wasn't nice, but then that shows that family nature of us, being able to come back together. We won 4-3 in extra time.
Being 3-0 down, yes, I may have not started, but in that change room at half time you could tell it wasn't over, and yes, we might have been 3-0 down to a Surrey team that hadn't lost in 5 or 6 years. It was just the feeling we got was if we get one goal, we're going to get two, and we're going to get back into that game.
The semi-final, Nottingham, the last-minute winner from Owen Cuddihy. Again, a moment of magic from him, but the feeling was class, and you could see probably from the clips that everyone's seen, everyone sprinting after each other, all the fans and everything. It was a real, again, go back to it, a real family moment, and that's something we've built for 3 years.
The morning of, it was a very early kick-off. I think it was a 10 a.m. kick-off Obviously fans were coming and leaving at 6 a.m, so that may have added a little bit more pressure on us. But yeah, I think more excitement than nervous for me, just because there was no pressure on us.
I know Miles will say it, I'm always quite nervous before any game, whether it's just a normal league game, whatever. But that final was something else, especially as like you've got commentators on the side like going through the team sheet, saying your name and stuff. It's like it's built up. They build up the occasion so much. Well, Miles played that pass over, and you see falling on Jake Morris's foot when it got crossed over, and you just like, not that time stood still or anything, but you're like, this is probably the best chance we're going to get. This has to go in, kind of thing.
Go on.
Honestly, one of the best feelings ever. I remember scoring that second goal, and it was just straight away. Jake ran straight to the fans. I think I came over to you and gave you a massive hug when we scored, and that was just the togetherness that we had in that team.
To actually get over the line and actually all that hard work is like paid off. The feeling was unbelievable, but the more is like, it's my last ever game for BUCS. We've just won the best thing you can win. Like, there is no feeling for it. It's undescribable. So yeah, it's class.
The togetherness and how much we all wanted to win for each other. It was that was the main factor, and that's what made us so good, I think. I think there's so many more teams that in our league and in lower leagues maybe that have better football players, but they will never have like the team and the togetherness that we had.
We were just playing football and enjoying it and laughing at every moment. Like whatever happens, we somehow have a positive spin on it, and I think that obviously made us have this like inability to lose. Like, not to sound cocky or anything, it just, we would turn up to football games and think we can beat anyone, and I'm sure that's probably what great teams have or good teams have or whatever, and it was just a natural thing in our team.
And what a special team that BUCS 2 side really was. Will, have you ever won any silverware in your career, before you hung up your boots?
Yeah, well, that was, 10 years ago I stopped playing, so a while ago. But yeah, I mean, I had a few cup wins, few league wins, and they're always, special when you win a trophy. I think my greatest achievement in football, though, was probably playing in the Gothia Cup in 2015, alongside a certain Tom Vincent as well, so yeah, there you go.
Well, I did not know that. And speaking of teammates, we sent a camera crew to go find out just how well our women's team know each other.
I quite like Neve's music, to be fair, or Faith.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay.
Faith. Not a fan of Faith's music.
Who'd you say, Eve?
I'd say Eve, yeah. Bit of a little mix.
Oh, it's got to be like
India has a good one.
India or Anna, I reckon.
Yeah, not Faith.
Yeah.
Faith's awful.
Faith. I like Faith's music. No one else likes her music.
Fair enough.
Probably India, maybe.
India.
Sophie Davidson.
I think India. India.
I think Sophie Davidson.
That's got to be India.
Am I supposed to get like... Do you want me to have an
Can I say me?
But it's not you.
Yeah, I know.
No, just India.
I'd put Sophie Davidson.
She's never up there quick enough.
Probably because she has so many shots on goal. I can't say it. I can't say that.
Miss an open goal.
You know who we want to say?
Love her to bits, but India.
God. I'm going to go Kellen for that one. Someone has scored an own goal, hasn't they? Sophie. Have you scored an own goal? Oh yeah, well
Last
Sophie.
season.
Sophie then.
Sophie.
And Daisy did last season. She palmed it into her own net.
When?
My free kick, when you palmed it into your own net.
Can we just say like Daisy?
Daisy, yeah. Yeah, go for an easy option there, Daisy.
Sophie Davidson. Or...
In training, I have passed it to the other team
then
twice.
you then.
But...
Yeah, maybe... Nah, Sophie.
Neve Duggan.
Oh, Neve Duggan.
Yeah.
That one's a bit difficult, I can't lie. Can't lie. But I'm going to have to go with Eve Duggan.
To be fair, if anyone says anyone else, or Anna.
You're lying.
Or Anna.
Yeah, she's quite choppy.
She can argue.
Yeah.
Neve. Right, I think that's a cop-out.
100% Neve.
I didn't get sent off for arguing. I think that's a cop-out. I think it's Anna.
Faith, because it has happened.
Not me.
Faith. It would be Faith.
My
Yeah.
music's too good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eve.
Yeah.
She'd be playing Little Mix.
What's she playing? Like Taylor
Little
Swift
Mix,
and
so
that?
yeah, too many times
Taylor
Little
Swift.
Mix.
Eve, but sometimes you just put good Little Mix on.
Black.
But sometimes it can be bad.
No, Black Magic. That is a tune.
No,
Isn't
it's
it?
not.
It is a tune.
You know, even Little Mix hate that song. That's how bad it is.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
We're now joined in the studio by Cardiff Met star striker India Shanahan. India, thank you very much for joining us here. But before we talk all things Met, let's talk a bit about you. How did you get into football?
So I started football when I was about, I'd say 12. I didn't always do football. I was quite big into like horse riding, gymnastics. So I've always been quite sporty. And then I kind of had a choice. It was either football or gymnastics at the time. Chose football, went all through like grassroots teams, played for like Llanrumney, like my local areas. And then I took a break for about 2 years, I'd say. I just wasn't enjoying it like as I was. And then after that, I played on a random day.
Yeah.
Some of the girls were like, "Oh, do you want to come and play?" So I went down. This team scouted me, Bridgend Street Women. So I played there for about 4 months or so.
Yeah.
And my name was brought up then to Cardiff City, where then joined the 19s and just kicked on from there, to be honest.
And you talk about Cardiff City. In the 2022-23 season, you scored 24 goals in 22 games. Just talk to us a little bit about how Cardiff City was as an experience in the whole.
Oh, it was, you know, it's kind of like you're building up the building blocks to be where I am now. Just the training, the games, the way they went about it was just all so professional. And to this day, they still are a very, very professional team. I think it really helped having the players around me that I did to help me develop as a player. And then from there onwards, they just help you, you know, be where I am today, to be honest.
Yeah. You also forgot to mention India got 12 assists.
12 assists.
Yeah.
Which is,
Playmaker as well.
But you had a stint at Barry Town last season before joining Met this season. The season probably hasn't gone the way you were hoping for, but how do you assess what's happened and what's your review of this season, so to say?
We've just been really unfortunate this season. You know, I joined, a lot of players left.
Yeah.
A lot of key players, crucial players who'd been here for years, and just everyone was as a team like back then. And I think now we've brought in so many like new players. We've got quite a few youngsters who have come in who are, you know, doing well, trying to impress. Obviously we lost our manager at the start of the season,
I was going to say
was
that uncertainty throughout the season, the chopping and changing mustn't help at all.
Yeah, no, it didn't help because there was no kind of structure to the team.
Stability.
And then obviously Chris came in, and I pull my hat off to him. He just did everything he could, tried to bring in players, but it just didn't happen for us. But with what we were given, I think we've done the best we can so far this season.
And you mentioned the changes kind of that's happened around the squad this season.
Yeah.
What was the appointment of John Nash? How has that kind of changed, and how much of an impact has he had on the squad?
Oh, he's had a massive impact. I think he's quite a big character, John. He's quite straight to the point, very forward, very chatty. And I think him coming in has just changed the environment completely. I think he's brought in, obviously, Zeke as the assistant as well. And they both know exactly what they want to do and how they want to do it. It's just now getting us as players to work with them in the way they want us to.
Yeah, because I guess you probably haven't had too much time really with John. But we're now in phase 2.
Yeah.
So what are your aspirations for that?
You know, obviously we haven't got many points at the moment. We're looking definitely to pick up some points in phase 2, get some more goals to, you know, make the goal difference a bit better, going towards our side. And I think, you know, just to be as a team and just play the best we can and just try and get out of the situation we're in at the moment.
Yeah.
And obviously football must take up a lot of your life at the moment.
Yeah.
But what do you do to relax outside of football?
Do you know what? I don't really do much outside of football. I usually go home and just watch some documentaries, to be honest with you, or like go for a walk just to like get out of the football mind and just exactly.
And one thing you do outside of football is study, and you are a
Yeah.
student here at Cardiff Met. You study quite an interesting course as well, so if you could tell us a little bit about that and like why you kind of chose it as well.
Yeah, so I'm on the professional policing degree. I'm in my 3rd year now, so I finish, hopefully graduate in July. It's quite an intense course. There's quite a lot of like information and just like all the legislations, the laws. You've got to learn. You've got to learn all of it. So that degree will just help me get like, it'll just kind of like a fast track into joining the police, which hopefully I'll do come October. But I start a job now in May doing like 909 call handling. So and I've got that through my degree, so it is very useful to have.
So you mentioned it's your last year here at Cardiff Met, so you expect to play in varsity later in the year. I've been to varsity at my time at Met. It really is one of the best days of the year.
Yeah.
How excited are you to be representing Met at the varsity?
Oh yeah, really excited. You know, it's all sold out. Hopefully there'll be a big enough crowd coming to watch the women's football. But I just think the whole environment and, you know, it's varsity, isn't it? So you want to play well, you want to win, and I know we'll definitely be going to win.
Yeah, well, it's against Bath, isn't it? So
yeah, 100%.
You have to secure the bragging rights in that one.
Yeah.
How big would it be to get that win over Bath? And how big would, especially the season you've had so far, how nice would it be at the end of the season to kind of have that?
Oh, it'd be massive. I think it'll definitely boost the morale in the team as well. And obviously when varsity comes around, we'll still be in the Adron Prem, and I think that'll just give us a bit of confidence then to go into the last few games of the Adron League with a win under our belts.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for your time, India, and good luck for the rest of Phase 2 as well. Alex, well, it looks like we've run out of time, and what a great first episode we've had.
Yeah, it really has been. Thank you to all of our guests and all of our production crew, and we'll see you next time.